The African night does not arrive all at once. First, the heat begins to loosen its grip on the earth. The shadows of the acacia trees stretch across the dry grass, and the last birds hurry toward their resting places. Then the colors disappear. Gold becomes gray. Gray becomes black. In this changing landscape, every sound gains importance. A broken twig may reveal a hunter. A sudden silence may mean that something nearby has already noticed the danger. At the edge of a shallow ravine, beneath the twisted roots of an old tree, a female honey badger emerges from a narrow burrow. Behind her, almost hidden in the darkness, is her young cub. It is still inexperienced, smaller and far less formidable than the animal it may one day become. For now, its survival depends on the protection, judgment, and constant vigilance of its mother. The adult pauses at the entrance. Her nose rises toward the evening wind. Honey badgers are famous for their bold defensive behavior, but courage alone does not keep an animal alive in the African wilderness. The mother must read the landscape, the distant calls of birds, the scent of other mammals, and the movements concealed beneath the grass. Hunger eventually forces her forward. She begins searching the ground for anything the night may offer: beetles, grubs, small reptiles, or creatures hidden beneath the soil. Her powerful foreclaws open the earth with quick, deliberate movements. The cub follows for a short distance, imitating her, sniffing every disturbed patch of sand. But when the mother moves farther along the ravine, she directs the youngster back toward the shelter of the roots. For several moments, the cub obeys, then curiosity begins to overcome caution. A faint scratching sound comes from a mound only a few meters away. The youngster steps out, slowly at first, testing the air as its mother had done. It digs awkwardly, scattering dust behind its paws. The world seems empty. The wind covers the soft sounds of its movement, and the darkness offers a dangerous illusion of protection. But the cub is not alone. Farther up the slope, a male leopard has begun his nightly patrol. He moves through broken woodland and tall grass with the patience of an animal that cannot afford to waste energy. Leopards are solitary hunters, and many of their movements occur after dark, although their activity can change with habitat, prey, and competition. This one has spent much of the previous day hidden among rocks, escaping the heat and the attention of larger rivals. Now he is hungry. The leopard does not charge through the grass. He advances in stages. A few steps, a pause, another few steps. His spotted coat breaks apart his outline beneath the shifting shadows, making his body difficult to distinguish from the vegetation around him. He listens before every movement, using concealment and surprise rather than a long pursuit. At first, he is following the scent of rodents near the ravine. Then something changes. A new smell reaches him. The leopard freezes. Below, the honey badger cub is still investigating the mound. It has found nothing, yet it continues digging, unaware that every small movement is helping the predator locate it. The adult female is now beyond a wall of brush. She remains close enough to return, but the thick vegetation blocks her view. The leopard lowers his body until his belly nearly touches the earth. Between hunter and cub lies a strip of exposed ground, then the dark entrance to the burrow. If the youngster senses danger quickly enough, it may reach shelter. If the leopard moves too soon, the opportunity will vanish. If he waits too long, the mother may return. For the predator, this appears to be an easy chance. For the cub, the night still seems silent. Then a francolin hidden in the grass gives a sudden alarm call. The cub raises its head. The leopard stops breathing for what feels like an eternity. Nothing moves. Even the insects seem to fade into the darkness. The youngster looks toward the ravine, then toward the burrow, uncertain of what disturbed the bird. It cannot see the spotted shape pressed against the slope. The leopard takes one final step. A pebble rolls beneath his paw. The cub turns. In that instant, the silence of the African night is about to be shattered. The leopard explodes from the darkness. One moment, the slope appears empty. The next, the predator is racing through the grass, his body low and powerful, his eyes fixed on the young honey badger. The cub reacts instinctively. It turns toward the burrow and begins to run, but its legs are short, its movement still uncertain. The distance is too great. Within seconds, the leopard reaches it. A front paw strikes the ground beside the cub, cutting off its escape. The youngster changes direction, but the predator moves faster. The leopard catches it before it can reach the roots, pinning it against the dry earth. The attack is sudden, but not chaotic. Leopards survive by controlling their prey quickly while avoiding unnecessary injuries. Even a small animal can bite, scratch, or create enough noise to attract competitors. The predator adjusts his grip, keeping his head away from the cub's claws. The young honey badger twists beneath him. Although it is inexperienced, its defensive instincts are already strong. It snaps at the leopard's paw, growls, and attempts to roll its flexible body. Its thick skin gives it some protection, but at this age, it lacks the strength and size of an adult. The leopard hesitates. This is not the soft-bodied prey he expected. The cub's loose skin makes it difficult to hold securely. Each time the leopard tries to reposition it, the youngster turns farther than seems possible, attempting to bite whatever comes close. The predator pulls back for an instant, surprised by the resistance. That instant is enough for the cub to rise. It races toward the burrow. The leopard lunges again. His paw comes down in front of the entrance, blocking the path. The cub slides across the dust and disappears briefly beneath the predator's chest. When it reappears, it is trapped between the leopard and a fallen branch. There is nowhere left to run. The cub releases a harsh, urgent cry. The sound is unlike the soft calls it uses near its mother. It is louder, sharper, and designed to travel through the vegetation. It echoes along the ravine and disappears into the darkness. The leopard immediately raises his head. He knows that young animals are rarely alone. The smell of the adult honey badger is strong around the burrow. Fresh claw marks cover the nearby soil, and the disturbed ground shows that a larger animal has been foraging only minutes earlier. The leopard scans the bushes, listening for movement. Nothing approaches. For now, he looks down at the cub again. The youngster has stopped struggling, but it has not surrendered. Its body is tense. Its small, dark eyes remain fixed on the predator. When the leopard lowers his head, the cub snaps toward his muzzle. The leopard jerks back. For a predator, the calculation is constant. Hunger encourages risk, but survival demands caution. A damaged eye, an infected wound, or an injured paw could prevent him from hunting for days. The cub is small, yet its behavior suggests that holding it may be more difficult than killing it. But the leopard has another reason to remain alert. Far away, a hyena calls. Another answers from the opposite side of the plain. The leopard's ears turn toward the sound. Hyenas may investigate the cries of prey or the commotion of a struggle. If they arrive, they could steal his catch or force him into a confrontation he does not want. He must make a decision. The predator grips the cub by the loose skin near its shoulders and begins dragging it away from the burrow. His goal appears to be the nearest tree, where he could lift the prey beyond the reach of scavengers. The cub resumes its struggle. It kicks, twists, and calls again. This time, the cry is even louder. Beyond the wall of brush, the adult female stops digging. Her head rises instantly. She has heard many sounds during the night. Insects, distant birds, rodents moving beneath the leaves. But this call is unmistakable. It belongs to her cub, and it carries only one message. Danger. The mother turns toward the ravine. For several seconds, she remains perfectly still, using the direction of the sound to locate the threat. Then she begins to run. She pushes beneath thorny branches, crosses exposed ground, and follows the scent trail back toward the burrow. The leopard cannot yet see her, but he hears something. A rapid movement passes through the bushes. He releases the cub and turns toward the sound. The youngster falls onto the ground, stunned but still conscious. The entrance to the burrow is only a few meters away, yet the leopard stands directly between the cub and safety. The bushes shake again. This time, the movement is closer. The leopard lowers his body, prepared to defend his prize. He expects another small animal, perhaps a jackal or a second cub. Instead, a dark shape bursts from the vegetation. The adult honey badger sees her youngster on the ground. Then she sees the leopard. She does not pause. She does not retreat. With a deep, furious growl, the mother charges directly toward one of Africa's most powerful predators. The female honey badger charges without hesitation. She does not circle from a distance or wait for the leopard to move away. Her cub is on the ground, trapped only a few meters from the burrow, and every second increases the danger. She rushes through the dry grass with her body low, her claws tearing into the soil as she accelerates us. The leopard turns toward her. For a brief instant, both animals freeze. The difference between them is striking. The leopard is taller, faster, and several times heavier. His jaws are powerful enough to bring down prey much larger than the honey badger. The female, by comparison, is compact and close to the ground, yet she shows no sign of retreat. She opens her mouth, exposes her teeth, and releases a harsh growl that echoes across the ravine. Her fur rises along her back, making her appear larger. Then she advances again. The leopard lifts one paw and strikes toward her. The honey badger twists aside. The blow lands in the dust, missing her head by only a few centimeters. Before the leopard can recover, she lunges toward his front leg. Her jaws close near his paw, but the cat pulls back quickly enough to avoid a secure bite. Now the leopard understands that this will not be an easy defense of his catch. The cub remains motionless beside the fallen branch. It is frightened and exhausted, but still alive. The mother moves between it and the predator, creating a living barrier. Each time the leopard shifts to one side, she follows. Each time he lowers his body, she prepares to charge. This is not reckless bravery. The honey badger's low center of gravity makes it difficult for the leopard to knock her over. Her thick, loose skin provides some protection against claws and bites, while also allowing her to twist if seized. But these defenses do not make her invulnerable. One precise bite from the leopard could end the confrontation. The female seems to understand the danger. She does not remain directly in front of him for long. Instead, she moves in sudden bursts, attacking and withdrawing before the leopard can secure a grip. She snaps at his paws, then darts beneath the reach of his claws. Her goal is not to defeat the predator. It is to make him hesitate long enough for the cub to escape. The leopard growls and advances. The mother refuses to yield. He swipes again, and this time his paw catches the side of her body. The impact throws her across the dust. For a moment, she disappears behind a cloud of sand. The leopard turns immediately toward the cub. But before he can take a second step, the female rises. She shakes the dust from her coat and charges once more. Her persistence appears to surprise the cat. He jumps backward as she snaps toward his muzzle. The honey badger's teeth miss, but the message is clear. Every attempt to reach the cub will come at a cost. The cub begins to move. At first, it crawls, its legs tremble, and it keeps its body close to the ground. The burrow entrance is still several meters away. The mother notices but does not look back. She keeps her attention fixed on the leopard, blocking his view of the youngster whenever possible. The predator senses the movement. He steps to the left. The female mirrors him. He moves right. She places herself in his path. The leopard's tail lashes behind him. His ears flatten against his head. Hunger urges him forward, but caution begins to slow him. A wounded paw could make climbing difficult. An injury to the face could damage his ability to hunt. Even if he wins this confrontation, the reward may no longer justify the risk. But the cub has not yet reached safety. A dry branch cracks beneath its weight. The leopard's head turns instantly. He sees the youngster crawling toward the roots. The opportunity is disappearing. With a sudden burst of speed, he circles around the mother and races toward the cub. The female reacts immediately, but the leopard is faster. He crosses the exposed ground in seconds, reaches the burrow entrance, and places one paw in front of it. The cub stops. The mother attacks from behind. She lunges at the leopard's hind leg and closes her jaws around the loose skin above his paw. The bite is brief, but it is enough. The leopard roars and spins around. The honey badger releases him before his claws can strike her. She retreats several steps, growling, ready to attack again. The leopard looks toward his leg, then back at the female. For the first time, he appears uncertain. The cub uses the moment to move closer to the burrow, but the entrance remains partially blocked by the predator. Then another sound rises from beyond the ravine. A low call carries through the darkness. It is followed by another. The leopard raises his head. The honey badger also pauses. Something else has heard the struggle, and it is coming closer. The distant calls grow louder. They are not the sounds of birds or grazing animals. They are the low, broken voices of hyenas moving somewhere beyond the ravine. The struggle has carried through the night, and in the African wilderness, noise rarely remains unnoticed for long. But the approaching danger has not yet arrived. For now, the leopard and the mother honey badger remain locked in a tense standoff. The leopard stands beside the entrance to the burrow, his body angled toward the cub. The female is several meters away, breathing heavily but refusing to lower her guard. Dust clings to her coat. One side of her body bears the mark of the leopard's earlier strike, yet she continues advancing. Neither animal can afford a mistake. The leopard has the advantage in size, speed, and strength. If he can seize the female by the neck or head, the confrontation may end quickly. But reaching that position is difficult. The honey badger remains close to the ground, constantly turning toward him and threatening his legs whenever he approaches. The leopard takes one careful step. The female growls. He takes another. She charges. The attack is sudden and direct. The honey badger races toward his front paws, forcing the cat to leap sideways. He swipes while retreating, but his claws cut only through empty air. The female turns instantly and comes after him again. The leopard jumps onto a low rock. For a moment, the higher position gives him control. He looks down at the honey badger as she circles below, searching for a way to reach him. The cub remains near the roots, only a short distance from the darkness of the burrow. Then it moves. The youngster crawls forward, using the distraction to approach the entrance. It is slow, but every movement brings it closer to safety. The leopard sees it. He springs from the rock. The female intercepts him before he reaches the cub. She throws herself toward his chest, snapping at the loose skin beneath his neck. The leopard twists in midair and lands awkwardly beside her. His paw strikes the ground, sending dirt across the cub's back. For several seconds, the two animals disappear in a cloud of dust. The leopard attempts to pin the honey badger, pressing one foreleg across her body. But her skin shifts beneath his grip. Instead of remaining trapped, she twists almost completely around and snaps toward his face. The leopard releases her immediately, her teeth close just below his jaw. The bite does not hold, but it comes dangerously close to his throat. The cat retreats, shaking his head. Now the balance has changed. The leopard is still capable of overpowering the female, but the cost is becoming impossible to predict. Every attempt brings her teeth closer to his eyes, muzzle, or paws. For a wild predator, even a small injury can become life-threatening. A damaged foot may prevent a successful hunt. A wound may become infected. A lost eye could permanently alter his ability to survive. The honey badger does not need to win. She only needs to convince him that victory is not worth the risk. The female advances again, producing a series of harsh growls. She appears relentless, but exhaustion is beginning to affect her. Her movements are less precise. Her breathing is faster. If the confrontation continues much longer, the leopard's greater strength may decide the outcome. The predator seems to sense this. He lowers his body and begins moving in a wide circle. The mother follows, but this time he does not attack. Instead, he studies her reactions. He steps toward the cub, then suddenly changes direction. The female turns too quickly and briefly loses her balance. The leopard strikes. His paw catches her shoulder and throws her onto her side. Before she can recover, he moves over her, jaws open. The female rolls beneath him and bites upward. The leopard pulls his head back just in time, her teeth close against the fur of his chest rather than his neck. He jumps away and the honey badger rises once more. Both animals stop. The female is injured and exhausted. The leopard is frustrated and increasingly cautious. Behind them, the cub finally reaches the burrow entrance. Its front paws disappear into the darkness, but its weakened hind legs remain exposed. The leopard turns toward it. The mother sees the movement. With the last of her strength, she launches another charge. This time, the leopard does not confront her. He leaps backward and climbs onto the fallen tree, gaining distance from her jaws. From above, he watches the cub drag itself completely into the shelter. The mother stops at the entrance. She has achieved what she needed, but the danger is not over. The calls of the hyenas are now close enough to reveal their direction. Grass moves beyond the ravine, and several dark shapes appear between the trees. The leopard looks toward them. The honey badger looks toward the narrow burrow behind her. A new enemy is approaching, and the confrontation is about to become even more unpredictable. The first hyena steps into the open. Its head is low, its shoulders raised, and its ears are fixed on the sounds coming from the ravine. A second shape appears behind it, followed by a third. They have not seen the entire confrontation, but they have heard enough to know that something vulnerable may be nearby. The leopard immediately turns toward them. Until this moment, he had been focused on the honey badgers. Now the danger has changed. A single hyena may hesitate before challenging an adult leopard, but several together can force even a powerful predator away from food. On the ground, the cat loses many of the advantages that make him such an efficient hunter. The female honey badger also recognizes the threat. She stands at the burrow entrance, her body blocking the narrow opening. Behind her, the cub has disappeared into the darkness. It is alive, but frightened and exhausted. The mother cannot see how badly it has been injured. She only knows that the struggle outside is not yet over. The hyenas move closer. They spread apart as they approach, examining the ravine from different angles. One stops near the fallen tree and sniffs the disturbed earth. The ground carries the scent of the leopard, the adult honey badger, and the young cub. Dust and broken vegetation reveal that a violent confrontation has taken place. The leopard climbs higher onto the fallen trunk. From there, he watches every movement below. His tail flicks from side to side as he calculates his options. He could attempt to defend the area, but there is no carcass worth protecting. The cub is now hidden inside the burrow, and the mother remains prepared to attack anything that approaches. The risk has become greater than the reward. One hyena advances toward the tree. The leopard growls. The sound is deep and forceful, but the hyena does not retreat far. It moves sideways instead, testing the cat's reaction. Another approaches from behind. The leopard turns repeatedly, unable to watch both at once. Near the burrow, the female honey badger begins backing into the entrance. She does not turn away from the approaching animals. Her retreat is slow and controlled. She keeps her head outside, teeth exposed, prepared to defend the tunnel. One of the hyenas notices her. It moves toward the burrow. The mother charges out. The sudden attack catches the scavenger by surprise. The honey badger races directly at its front legs, producing a harsh growl. The hyena jumps backward and snaps at the air, but the female stops before entering the range of its jaws. For several seconds, they face each other. The hyena is much larger, but it has no reason to risk injury for prey it cannot yet reach. The tunnel is narrow. Digging into it would require time, and the honey badger would be waiting inside. The scavenger turns away. It joins the others near the leopard. The cat now realizes that remaining on the low trunk is dangerous. The hyenas are becoming bolder, and the tree does not offer enough height. He searches the darkness, locating a larger acacia several meters away. Reaching it means crossing open ground. A hyena moves closer. The leopard makes his decision. He leaps from the trunk and runs. The hyenas react instantly. Two rush after him, but the leopard is faster over the short distance. He reaches the acacia, drives his claws into the bark, and climbs with remarkable speed. Within seconds, he is high above the ground. The hyenas gather below. They look upward, pacing around the trunk and releasing excited calls. The leopard presses himself against a thick branch beyond their reach. He has escaped, but he has lost the hunt. Back at the burrow, the female honey badger disappears completely underground. The tunnel is dark and cramped. She follows the scent of her cub until she finds it pressed against the inner wall. The youngster is breathing quickly. It reacts weakly when she touches it with her nose, but it remains conscious. Outside, the hyenas search the ravine. They investigate the fallen tree, the mound where the cub had been digging, and the path used by the leopard. One returns briefly to the burrow entrance and sniffs. The mother responds from within with a low warning growl. The hyena pauses. Then it moves away. There is nothing easy here. No exposed prey. No abandoned carcass. Only a defensive mother inside a narrow tunnel and an angry leopard trapped in a tree. Gradually, the hyenas lose interest. One after another, they leave the ravine and continue across the plain, following distant sounds that may offer a better opportunity. Silence begins to return, but the honey badgers do not emerge. The mother remains beside her cub, listening as the final footsteps disappear. The youngster has survived the leopard's attack, yet its condition remains uncertain. Above the ravine, the leopard watches the darkness below. The hunt is over. For the moment, neither predator nor prey knows what the coming dawn will reveal. Dawn arrives slowly over the ravine. A pale line appears on the eastern horizon, revealing the shapes that darkness had concealed. The acacia branches become visible first. Then the rocks, the dry grass, and the disturbed ground where the confrontation took place. High in the tree, the leopard is still waiting. The hyenas have moved on, but he does not descend immediately. He watches the plain below, listening for any sign that they may return. His hunger remains, yet his body carries the memory of the night. The snap of the honey badger's jaws, the pain near his hind leg, and the risk of being surrounded on the ground. When the landscape finally appears safe, the leopard begins climbing down. He moves carefully, testing each branch before placing his full weight upon it. On the ground, he pauses and examines his leg. The mother's bite did not cause serious damage, but the area is sensitive. For a predator that depends on stealth, balance, and sudden acceleration, even a minor injury deserves attention. The leopard looks toward the burrow. The entrance is silent. He could return and investigate, but the calculation has changed. The cub is hidden deep inside the tunnel. The mother is waiting with it. Digging would expose the leopard to another defensive attack, while the rising daylight could reveal him to competitors or human activity beyond the reserve. He turns away. Without another sound, the spotted hunter disappears into the vegetation. The leopard has not been defeated in the way one animal defeats another in a contest. He remains larger, stronger, and more dangerous. But nature is rarely decided by strength alone. Survival depends on knowing when to attack, when to resist, and when the possible reward is no longer worth the price. Inside the burrow, the female honey badger continues waiting. She has remained beside her cub through the final hours of darkness. The youngster is exhausted, but its breathing has slowed. The leopard's grip and the impact of the struggle have left it weakened. Yet there are no obvious injuries preventing it from moving. The mother touches the cub with her nose. It responds at first. The youngster only raises its head. Then it shifts its front paws beneath its body and attempts to stand. Its legs tremble and it falls against the tunnel wall. The mother remains close. Wild animals do not offer comfort in the human sense, but her behavior has a clear purpose. She examines the cub, remains between it and the entrance, and waits until it can move without collapsing. Hours pass before they emerge. The sun is now above the horizon, warming the dry earth. The female appears first. She scans the ravine, smells the ground, and studies the trail left by the leopard. Only when she is certain that no immediate threat remains does she allow the cub to follow. The youngster steps into the light. It moves slowly and stays close to its mother. The mound it had been investigating the previous night remains nearby, but the cub no longer approaches it. Curiosity brought it beyond the protection of the burrow. Now experience has replaced innocence. The mother leads it away from the exposed ground. They move through thick brush, using roots, rocks, and fallen branches as cover. The cub struggles to keep pace, but it follows. Before midday, the pair reaches another sheltered area where the soil is soft enough for the female to begin opening a temporary refuge. Their survival is not guaranteed. The cub will face snakes, large birds of prey, hyenas, leopards, and periods when food becomes scarce. The mother cannot protect it from every danger. But on this morning, it has been given another chance. The encounter also reveals the truth behind the honey badger's fearless reputation. The mother was not incapable of fear. Her decisions were driven by danger, urgency, and the powerful instinct to defend her offspring. She did not overpower the leopard through greater strength. She changed the predator's calculation. Through persistence, unpredictable attacks, and her refusal to abandon the cub, she transformed an easy opportunity into an unacceptable risk. The leopard, meanwhile, was not a villain. He was a hunter responding to hunger, following the same laws that govern every predator in the wilderness. His decision to withdraw was not cowardice, it was intelligence. An animal that survives must recognize when persistence could become fatal. By the time the sun reaches its highest point, the ravine is quiet again. The tracks in the dust are the only evidence of what happened there. The prints of a leopard, the smaller marks of a cub, and the deep claw lines left by a mother that refused to retreat in the wild. Courage does not always mean winning a battle. Sometimes, courage means surviving long enough to walk away together. In the African wilderness, survival is never determined by strength alone. The leopard possessed speed, power, and the instincts of an experienced predator. But the honey badger mother had something equally powerful: the determination to protect her young, no matter the danger standing in her path. That night, neither animal was truly defeated. The leopard survived by recognizing when the risk had become too great. The mother survived by refusing to abandon her cub. And the youngster survived because, in the most dangerous moment of its life, it was not alone. Nature is filled with confrontations like this, brief, unpredictable, and rarely witnessed. They remind us that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to keep moving when fear is unavoidable. What would you have done in the leopard's position? Continued the attack or abandoned the hunt? Share your opinion in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into the hidden world of wildlife, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more surprising encounters from nature.